Hello and welcome here from the VICTAM Newsroom live. This is our third and last episode from the VICTAM Newsroom in the heart of the VICTAM Asia 2018 trade show, where we will try to update you on what is happening here at the BITEC in Bangkok. My name is Gerrit Heikoop, and for the last 3 days in this studio I have been interviewing speakers, exhibitors and everybody that had news and stories and innovations for the world of animal feed production, aquafeed production, pet food production and milling internationally. And in the next half hour, I'm going to take you around on the show floor. I'm going to tell you more about the innovative business matchmaking program. I'm going to show you some of the innovations. There's more than 40 innovations at display here on the trade show floor. I'm going to take you along to Galen Counterflow and tell you all about their innovation. After that, I'm very honored to be joined by Mr. Liu, who is a director and vice president at Samsung, together with Glenn Ferriol, who is an area manager for the Philippines, Malaysia and Indonesia at Nutriat, a nutrition company, and they will share their experience and their discoveries at the trade show here today. And stay tuned all the way till the end, because then we'll wrap up the show together with the VICTAM International team, and then we'll reflect with them on this edition of VICTAM Asia. But first, no further ado, I'd like to know who you are and where you're watching from. And we're starting to get some interactions on this video. So if you're watching this now live in Australia, good evening. Or here somewhere in the Southeast Asia, good afternoon. Or maybe you are in Europe having your morning coffee together with us, sitting back and ready to learn about the latest news. Good morning to you over there. And to our friends in the Americas, I see that you are very loyal in watching our recording. So good morning to you as well, I guess. Now, with no further ado, let's move out of this studio into the show floor and let's learn about the business matchmaking networking rooms. So we are here at the business matchmaking rooms at VICTAM Asia 2018, and I'm joined by Oksana Titova, who is a business matchmaking consultant for the trade show. Oksana, can you explain to our viewers a little bit, how does it work?
Yes, I can explain it. We try to arrange a lot of meetings for our exhibitors and our visitors, and we have 8 matchmaking rooms. 2 for exhibitors and 6 for visitors.
And so we see people come together, have real business meetings in here. Can you share some first results with us? How do people respond to this facility?
They like our facility because it's a combination of computer tool and personal service of our matchmaking specialists. We try to explain to everybody, also to exhibitors, also to visitors, how they must use our tool. And they are very happy with this tool because they prepare everything for the exhibition, before the exhibition.
Exactly. So if you want to experience this yourself and you want to do some great business at VICTAM International 2019 in Cologne or at VICTAM Asia 2020 back here in Bangkok, then make sure you create your online profile, you browse the other participants and exhibitors and plan your meetings for the next trade show. Yes, and if you're curious to learn more about this business matchmaking solution, then I invite you to go back to the recording of our daily live update of yesterday, because there we talked to 2 exhibitors and one of them was really effective and really productive with this solution. Now, if you've been a loyal follower of these shows, then you already recognize our social media reporter here at the show floor, Gerdy Schreuders. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, Gerdy, we promised our viewers that if they interact with us, we would feature them on the show. So I think we found someone, right?
Oh, definitely. And it's a question for you personally. It comes from Robert Cow. It's on the Facebook page, and he said a few days already. Why the host did not change the code?
Yeah, exactly,
it's smelly.
Robert. I think it's a very good comment, and I really appreciate your worries about our working environment here. Now the good news is you're watching online, so you won't smell any odor. Gerdy, I hope it's not too bad.
Neither do I.
Good deodorant. I'm not sponsored, but I'm smelling okay. The jacket is just there for recognizable branding. But this is a great example of the live interaction that we can have. So if you're watching right now, type your comments either on YouTube or Facebook, and we will take your questions in real time, either to the exhibitors you see in the show, or to Gerdy, or to me, or to the VICTAM International Organizing Committee. Now Gerdy, today you've been at the show floor and the conferences again. Talk us through your day.
Well, my day was focused on the visitors. And the funny thing today was that I met the youngest visitor of VICTAM.
What age was he or she?
Well, we couldn't find out because we couldn't communicate at all. But
He didn't speak English?
No, he didn't speak English. I didn't speak Chinese. But in body language, we could make this sign, which is very important here on this show floor, actually. And the funny
V for VICTAM, you mean? Or?
Oh, wow.
No?
And we make peace all the time.
Oh,
you know.
peace.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
But the funny thing is that I'm going around trying to make pictures, but people want to be in the picture with me as well.
Oh, you're starting to become famous here in Asia?
Yeah.
Tell me all about it.
It's really funny because this is really East meets West here on the show floor. People find it hard to communicate, but they want to connect. You can see it and you can feel that spirit, and that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So I think I will show up on a lot of pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And where can people find those pictures if they're curious?
Well, on Twitter and on Instagram with the hashtag VICTAM Asia. But I have to say, if you go to Instagram and look at VICTAM Asia 2018, that hashtag is being used as well. And I found some nice pictures there from people making selfies here in the conference center. Like these people here all together, also making the peace sign. And another one. And you'll see that on Instagram they received much more interaction.
All right.
Unfortunately, I cannot read it. I'm sorry.
No, there's no translate button in Instagram yet. But the beauty is, meaning that we see more activity on Instagram,
Yeah.
we can now tell this industry that they're way less conservative than they think, because the
Absolutely.
youth is also entering
Yes.
the animal feed industry.
Absolutely. And I just heard that there was people from 65 different countries, which is an enormous coverage worldwide. So that's the funny part with the languages.
And did you get any of those funny interactions that you shared with us the other day? What responses are you getting online?
What do you mean? From the
Well, like yesterday you went on a mission because
Yeah.
Dr. Eckel invited you.
Yes. Well, now I was more busy today in the newsroom, actually, because you created a lot of videos and we're uploading them, and we see, like anywhere else, that video is a trend, and more people are watching the videos, and we got a lot of views on those videos. So they're really appreciated.
Yeah, and if you're curious to find more about these newsroom videos, make sure you check out the YouTube page of VICTAM International. Maybe some of you are already watching us there, live or in recording. Click around and you'll find all these videos of speakers, exhibitors, sharing the latest news about the animal feed industry.
Yeah.
Now, Gerdy, you've been walking around these aisles and these conferences for 3 days as an external person. How would you reflect on the vibe and the energy in this meeting?
I think it's very efficient. People really are here with a goal. Either they want to network, to meet new people, or to buy machines, for example. I've seen a great interest in the machines, and there are a lot of them here. But people really want to, they get here with a purpose. It's not just coming by, but really efficient.
Yeah, so there's really business
yeah,
getting
business.
done.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, I think if you're interested in doing business, you start to mark your calendar for VICTAM International 2019 in Cologne. Gerdy, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being our reporter. Yeah. Make sure that you go back and moderate any questions and things that come in. If you want to take the opportunity of the fact that we're live, now is the time to type in, because you will bring it back to the table.
Yeah.
Now, I can imagine that you start to become curious about what it's like at the show floor. So earlier today, I made a little stroll and went to look up one of the 40 innovations that are being at display here at the show floor. We are back here at the heart of the show floor of VICTAM Asia 2018. And if you look through the show guide, you find this page with over 40 innovations which are being at display here. And one of them is with Gele Counterflow. And I just happened to run into Sander Gele himself, the managing director of Gele Counterflow. Sander, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Which innovations do you guys have at display here?
Well, the main one that we're introducing this week is the electric dryer. So we developed a dryer which runs on a different type of energy, and normally it would be gas or steam. In this case, it's electricity.
And who is this dryer for?
Basically anyone that is extruding products, so it could be the aquafeed industry or the pet food industry. If it's extruded product, it needs to be dried and then it can be done.
And how does this new dryer work? What's innovative about it?
Well, it's basically a closed loop system now, so we are reducing the amount of energy by roughly 65% by closing the loop. Normally we exhaust all the air from the dryer, and that air contains a lot of water and a lot of energy, and now we bring that energy back into the dryer, which means that the net energy consumption is reduced by roughly 65%.
Now, I understand this is a brand new hot innovation, literally hot. When do you expect the first results?
Well, we're planning to build a new unit later this year, the first full-scale unit, and install it early 2019. It'll probably take half a year before we have real results.
All right, well, Sander, thank you very much for sharing this with us, and good luck working on all the leads.
Thank you.
And if you're curious to learn more about all the innovations at display in the international animal feed industry, make sure you visit VICTAM International 2019 in Cologne or VICTAM Asia 2020 back here in Bangkok. Yes, and before we go there, we are still here at VICTAM Asia 2018 here in Bangkok. Live, more live than ever. And I'm very honored to introduce my next two guests. They have been exhibiting here for the last 3 days. I have Mr. Liu here, who is a director and vice president at Samsung. Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Mr. Glenn Ferriol, you're a sales or an area manager at Nutriad. Welcome as well. Now, let's start with that. What brings you to the VICTAM Asia trade show here today?
Well, we know that VICTAM has been a venue for all the feed milling equipments for several years. We know that, and because our key target customers are the feed millers, actually. So, as a manufacturer of a specialty feed additive products, we know that our customers are also going here in this venue.
Exactly. So that's why you want to be part of this.
Correct.
How's the vibe been? How have the aisles been for you?
It was good. It was really busy day for the first, second, and even on the third day. We didn't expect that the third day still a lot of people will still go, but yes, it's good.
Well, then we should appreciate it even more that you take out an hour of your schedule to be here with us.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Liu, Samsung is here, one of the largest exhibitors for many, many years. Describe what it's like to exhibit as such a big company over here.
Well, firstly, I would say thank you very much for the effort from the organizer. For us, it's very successful show. Yeah, we bring many new equipment like the big and automatic extruder and the large pulverizer and the pellet mill. Yes.
Yes, and what are some of the responses you get from the people? Because for those of you who haven't seen the booth, it's huge and it's filled with large machines, and you can open them and see them. How do people react to that?
Yeah, actually, our customers, especially some VIP customers, they are very excited. They said it's a new machine comes. It can high efficiency, and also it can save the cost for investment. Yes.
Yeah. Now, we're also here in the newsroom trying to wrap up what are the hot topics. If you reflect on 3 days of talking to potential customers, what is on everybody's mind? What are they talking about?
Well, on our side of business, basically for Asia, it's a hot topic about the antibiotic growth promotant replacer.
Yeah.
Because as what happened in Europe, they're actually implementing it now in countries in Asia where they're trying to remove the antibiotic growth promotants.
Yeah, because for our viewers who are not aware of this, the antibiotic growth promoters are actually banned in Europe. The USA is also pushing for a ban, and you say that is also coming to Asia.
In my countries or in the countries that we are operating in Asia, especially in the Philippines or Indonesia, they are beginning to ban it. And Nutriad is well placed to be in this particular side of the business because that's one of our core product groups is on the non-antibiotic digestive performance.
And let's explore, what kind of alternatives do you have on offer?
We have several in line. Basically, we are, as you know, Nutriad is one of the leading producer of butyric acid, but we do a target release or coated product that is specifically designed to reach all the target sites in the intestines of the animal. And then, of course, we have some botanicals, Apex 5, which is also very good as in combination with our butyrate. But another thing that we operate is also on the area of palatability.
Okay.
This is something for the pigs or for the ruminant producing countries because we try to help nutrition to happen, basically. And together with the feed millers, of course, they can produce a much better palatable feed.
Yeah, and for those viewers who are like palatable, it's the taste and the flavor of the food, right?
Exactly.
And if you're curious to learn more about that, check out some of the YouTube videos on the Newsroom, on the VICTAM International YouTube page, because we actually have one of the expert speakers from the FIAP conference explain all about what's key in palatability. Now, it's very funny, you're operating on an almost molecular scale inside the animals. Now you work on a much larger scale on these very huge milling machines. What do you find as a key topic that your clients are asking about?
First one is like the big machine. Now I think the main topic is like cost,
Yes.
automatic, and traceability.
Transparency?
Traceability is like means now like the food safety is very important. If anything happens, they can trace what's the problem from the farm or from the raw materials. It's very important for them.
Yeah, and I can imagine, especially in your line of business, that's where that becomes difficult because these big machines take in all these different raw materials, blend, grind. So what kind of solutions do you have to aid in this traceability?
Yeah, firstly, we have like put more sensors. It means fully automatic IT. Yeah, it's very important for this. And then we have like many like experts. They are helped for this. Yes, because we want to supply like the integrated solution, like from A to Z, from like design to like for machine manufacture, installation, training. So from this system, we guarantee the like traceability, good traceability. Yes.
All right, well, very interesting. Now, I've been asking all my exhibiting guests in these daily shows, imagine we meet again in VICTAM Asia 2020, 2 years down the road. If you had a crystal ball, what do you think the next big movement or trend would be, or what would you like to happen for this industry?
I think all of these are also moving towards really food safety.
Yes.
And that will be the trend that will probably big thing next in Asia as well. So as a company, we are also focusing on that. And it's happening now, actually.
But it's interesting because that's where you're operating on a very small scale and operating on a very big scale seems to come together.
Yeah, yes.
How from a additives perspective, how do you work on traceability and safety?
That is a very interesting question. Of course, that starts from the sourcing of raw materials as well, right?
On your end?
On our end, before we even supply it to the feed manufacturer. But also it's important to note that, you know, like when you talk about palatability, it has something to do with how the machines work. If the pellet, for example, is so strong or so, so difficult to chew,
Yeah.
palatability encompasses that. It's the taste and the smell and the feel of the feed, for example. So it has to be...
So these worlds don't seem as far apart as it might seem
not
from
at
the
all.
scale.
Not at all.
Exactly.
For example, we also operating on feed safety. And I presented a topic on one of the seminar on mycotoxin, for example. And that would need to be worked well together with the feed manufacturer or the machines that they have. I was really also excited to know because it's my first time to be in that machinery meeting.
Yeah.
And the development in the sensors where they can actually track a bad corn from a good corn, you know? Yes. And that is something that in the feed additive business, we might able to look
learn
well.
and work together from.
Yes,
So all of a sudden you understood why you're in the middle
Yes.
of all these big pieces of
Yes.
steel. You're like, whoa, they're actually closer than we think.
Yes.
Mr. Liu, if I ask you, what do you think the industry needs to start working on in the coming 2 years?
Also, like James said, we call traceability. It's very important. It means for our equipment, we must guarantee the design is like easy to clean.
Oh, yeah.
No residue inside, no cross contamination. Yeah, it's very important. And the second one, every process we should have a record, your documents. So it means anything happens, they can trace from A to Z or from Z to A. They can directly to the raw materials.
Exactly.
Yes.
So let's wrap up with that, and let's agree that hopefully we meet again, either at VICTAM International next year in Cologne or at VICTAM Asia 2020, and then we can talk about the innovative, easy cleanable designs, or the palatability and how the additives manufacturers and the milling manufacturers now actually cooperate, and maybe we see you two again in a joint venture working on that. Thank you very much for sharing your experience.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And stay tuned, because next up we're going to have the VICTAM International staff right here with me, and they're going to reflect on how the experience was from their perspective of 3 days of really hard work bringing the world together. But before that, I want to show you what it's like if you are here and how much fun you can have when you meet face to face. Yes, I don't think you can learn a lot from that video, but it's just meant to tease you into wanting to be here in the next edition, next year in Cologne or in 2 years here in Asia. Now, to wrap up our VICTAM newsroom, we started 2 days ago with Katelijne de Gooijer, the communications manager for VICTAM International, and we looked forward to what the show was going to be like. Back then, Patricia Heimgarter didn't have not any time, any second to be with us, because you're the exhibitions manager. You were in full swing, keeping all the exhibitors happy. But now, at the end of day 3, ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
What has this show been like for you? Patricia, from an exhibition organizer perspective.
It's very great. If you already know that you have more exhibitors than ever, then you are already happy, of course.
Let's drop that number again. Maybe we have some new viewers.
I think it was about 228.
Over 200,
Yes.
228. Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, over 220. That's what we
always
said.
Yeah?
So,
But it's
yeah.
228. Very correct. It's not 221, right? It's even more.
Even more.
And if you look back, what it's been like to be here at the BITAC in Bangkok for you?
It's always very excited. You see new people. Every time there are different people, new exhibitors even, or people that started new companies. Always a pleasure to be here.
All right. Now, and Katelijne, from your perspective, you've been overviewing the whole operations. We see you running by.
Yes.
Tell us, let's start with the numbers, because we started off and you already saw some large numbers in pre-registration. Where did we end up?
Well, we have over 6,500 visitors from 68
Impressive.
countries, and it's a 7% increase from our 2016 event.
Wow,
so
that's
we're very,
significant
very
growth.
happy and excited about that.
And if I recollect correctly, when we talked on Tuesday, you were at about 4,000 pre-registrations. That means you kind of doubled the show with walk-ins as well.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Interesting.
So, yes.
Now, from your perspective, what are some of the highlights of the last 2 days for you?
Some of the highlights are the innovations here at the exhibition. It's also the highest number we've ever had, at 39. So it's exciting to see that the exhibitors really want to show their innovations and their new things at our show.
Exactly. This is where you introduce your latest work, right?
Exactly, and because this is where your audience is, and so it's very exciting for them as well to introduce their new products.
Yeah. Now, Patricia, do you have any nice stories from some of the exhibitors that they've told you about what happened here in the last days?
The last days, that's a bit difficult, of course. But normally they tell you, oh yeah, the quality of the visitors, it's even better than last time. And it was already so good. And I still find the time to talk to my customers. Normally, I don't have the time for them. And now I even find the time to talk to them. So that's nice, always.
Very nice to hear. Now, if we start to move forward, what's up next? We're going to, I think we have about half an hour left before show closes.
Yes.
Then we're going to break down. We're going to sit back and relax a little bit. But then we need to move forward to VICTAM International.
Exactly. Then the next event is next year, June 12th through 14th. And it will be our VICTAM International in Cologne, which is our European show, and it's actually double the size of this one. So yeah, if you've missed this one, please come to Cologne because
Exactly.
it's going to be a great experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now that is, I think, the closing message that we need to pull you in with. Talking about pulling in, let's see if we can get the whole VICTAM crew together.
Yeah.
Ashish, Oksana, Henk, Beb, please join us because it's time to say a final goodbye. And while they walk in, I want you to give a big thumbs up, hearts, smileys, everything you have on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram at your disposal for this great crew. Henk, join us as well. Henk van der Bunt, General Manager. We started with you at the official, I think you, yeah, okay. Henk is just walking out. Thank you very much. Henk, great. If you've been part of this exhibition, either physically here at the BITEC in Bangkok, or if you're watching any of this content online, live or in recording, now is the time to give your virtual applause to this team because you know they're going to check these videos, they're going to check your replies. So make sure you leave them a comment, a like or a heart. And I think from all of us, we're just going to thank and end with a big, big thank you and goodbye on that camera. And we just hope to see all of you back for VICTAM International June 2019 or back here in Bangkok for VICTAM 2020. Goodbye.
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 I am working in feed mill industry,
I'm working in the food industry.
Aquaculture industry.
I'm in the feeding industry.
feed additive industry,
The pet food industry.
Agri industry.
Animal nutrition industry.
I'm in the poultry industry.
And we are all attending VICTAM Asia here in Bangkok. In the heart of the event is the exhibition, where visitors can experience many innovations. New this edition is the VICTAM Newsroom, with a daily online talk show about what's happening at VICTAM Asia. Conferences are very important for VICTAM Asia, and visitors are updated about key topics from the best speakers in the field. Last but not least, visitors come to meet each other and create new business opportunities.
I think that VICTAM is a great exhibition.
Always interesting to see new technology.
To have a glimpse of various customers and the various feed additive companies and the equipment manufacturers.
Finding new company, new product.
To see what's new in this industry.
Well, networking, meeting some new clients.
Mostly the feed technologies.
I'm here to meet some friends.
See you at the next VICTAM event.